Yeah. What is up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed the special intro there. Welcome to the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling in honor of the Demon King, aka the Prince Finn Balor. We are going to have a special intro. Hope you enjoyed it. And let's just say we're going to do this thing with a little less light. But either way, welcome to the show. As you can tell, today is the day of the Prince Finn Balor. So, in honor, as we do on the Danny Show, let's get to a top 10 countdown of my favorite matches, must see matches from the King, Finn Balor. Let's get started at number 9. We have, and in honor of Demon Finn, I am wearing red. Let's get started at number 10, excuse me. And at number 10, we have Finn Balor, regular Finn Balor, versus Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble 2018. Yeah, did I say that right? Was it 2018? I said no. No, I apologize. Was it 2018 or 2019? No, my apologies. 2018 was when Brock had that triple threat monster mayhem match. This is Royal Rumble 2019, excuse me. This was when Finn Balor would face Brock Lesnar for the Raw Universal Championship. And even though it was a losing effort as far as Finn was concerned, it was a very competitive match. As we all know, Brock Lesnar has stomach problems, as Triple H targeted in 2012 SummerSlam. Finn Balor was also aware of this and targeted Brock's stomach, and Brock was barely able to take Finn to Suplex City. There was a moment where he almost won the match with the coup de grace, but Brock Lesnar not only kicked out, but he kicked out to put Finn in the Kimura lock for the win. And ironically, the build up to this whole rivalry was David versus Goliath, and who knew the Demon King knew a biblical story about David? Interesting. But like I said, losing effort, but he gave Brock a fight that night. At number 9, we have Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship at Vengeance Day, which took place on Valentine's Day 2021. And on that day was the same Sunday date which Stone Cold Steve Austin beat the crap out of Mr. McMahon. My favorite Valentine Day traditions are to watch Stone Cold beat up Mr. McMahon and that wedding that Triple H had with Stephanie, where he called her a no good lying Jezebel. He called her something else, but I can't say that. But either way, nonetheless, this was a great technical match. A lot of joint manipulations, a lot of submission holds, and things of that nature. And this was before they totally ruined Pete Dunne by having him as this stupid character known as Butch. What in the fruck? Come on. But nonetheless, this was one of Pete Dunne's good matches with Finn Balor. Great match. And when Pete Dunne was Pete Dunne, you had to wear a steel glove because he loved to snap fingers. But it was a great match, and it wasn't the coup de grace that put Pete down. It was the coup de grace followed by the 1916 that put him down, and Finn Balor retained his NXT championship. At number 8, we have Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano at NXT Takeover Portland 2020, before the pandemic started. Now, this match, first of all, NXT Takeover Portland, as I've said before, was an awesome event. You can catch just about all of their matches on YouTube, by the way. Just about all of the matches are there. So check that match out. It was the original flag bearer of NXT, Finn Balor, had recently made a heel turn in months past after returning back to NXT after suffering a one sided defeat from the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Also, he had turned on Gargano, and a month or so later, Gargano came back, and we had a dream match at Portland, and it was Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Takeover, the new flag bearer for NXT, facing off against the original flag bearer of NXT. And it was a great match. However, it was the 1916 that put Johnny Gargano down. Nonetheless, great, great fight. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check that out. It was really good. It did not disappoint. Like I said, Portland was awesome. At number 7, we have another match that took place during Finn Balor's fresh heel turn, and this was at NXT War Games 2019. Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle at War Games 2019. After he had Finn, I'm speaking of, attacked Finn. No, I'm sorry. After Finn Balor attacked Gargano and put him on the shelf, he targeted Matt Riddle, which set them up for that match, and it was also great. We all know that Matt Riddle is going to put out his MMA and technical skills, and there were some technical skills on display in that match also. However, because it was a heel turn for Finn Balor and it was a heel era for him, we didn't get to see the coup de grace. Instead, we have to see the 1916 to end it all because heels don't do high flying moves that much. That's why Neville stopped flying for a little bit when he became Cruiserweight champion in 2017. But nonetheless, another great match by Finn Balor at War Games with the original Bro. This was way before he went on to become friends with Wendy. At number 6, we have Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, baby, on an episode of NXT September the 8th, 2020, on Tuesday, Super Tuesday 2. This was a rematch from what happened the previous week because in the previous week we had Finn Balor and Adam Cole alongside Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. It was a fit. If I got that correct, did I say that correct? I hope I did. I hope it was. I think it was Balor. I think it was. I hope I got that right. But it was a fatal four-way match between those guys, and that fatal four-way match, which I will call an honorable mention for this particular video, that match lasted the entire show. Adam Cole and Finn Balor were tied, were the only two to have the same score that was higher than everyone else. It was a fatal four-way Iron Man match. So the next week, because it was tied between those two, we had to settle the score. And boy, did they fight their butts off to settle that score. They both hit their best moves. Adam Cole with the running knee to the back and Finn Balor with the coup de grace. Adam Cole was the first competitor to kick out of that move. But in the end, despite a very competitive match on both guys, it was Finn Balor who would not only win the match, but become the undisputed NXT champion. And the reason this match happened because recent champion Karrion Kross had defeated Keith Lee at NXT Takeover 30. However, injury made him relinquish the championship, and that's how this whole thing happened. At number 5, let's go to number 5. We have Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules last year. First and foremost, on this very day, fun fact, on an episode of Raw on this very date many years ago in 2016, Finn Balor actually defeated Roman Reigns on Finn's birthday, which is today. However, this particular match was epic, and while it was on a losing end for Finn Balor, because for whatever reason the ropes broke, how the helicopter that happened, nonetheless, it was a great fight. Finn gave his best moves, and he even made Roman reap what he sowed by kicking out of his move while doing the low blow, which is something that Roman Reigns became infamous for in his early heel run and his now 2 years as WWE Champion, now undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion. But even though it was a losing effort by Conspiracy and Broken Ropes, it was still a great match. At number four, this was not a losing effort. Back to the matches that he won. At number four, we have Samoa Joe and Finn Balor tearing NXT TakeOver Dallas down. Now, they had some classics. And another honorable mention on this will be NXT TakeOver London, where he also defeated Joe to retain the NXT Championship. And also, fun fact, in every match that they had together, Finn Balor has brought in his alter ego, the Demon King. In NXT TakeOver London, he had a special entrance, and at NXT TakeOver Dallas, which is on this list, he came with a chainsaw. So every time he faces Samoa Joe, he always has an incredible entrance. Now at NXT TakeOver in the steel cage match, he came looking like a black metal star, but he lost that one. So I'm not that one's not on this list. But it is on my Samoa Joe list, so check that out. Nonetheless, this particular match at NXT TakeOver Dallas, the reason this match is on the list is because these guys gave their best moves, all of them. Finn Balor kicked out of the Muscle Buster, which has put away many, especially in TNA. He kicked out of that and he overcame the sleeper hold. And of course, Samoa Joe overcame the coup de grace, which usually puts Finn's opponents away. But one of the things that made this match special was the fact that they both used their moves respectfully, and the opponents were resilient towards it. However, the ending was interesting because Finn Balor was put in Samoa Joe's sleeper hole, but just like Bret Hart did to Stone Cold Steve Austin in Survivor Series in '96, he was able to counter that move and pin Samoa Joe while still in the hole. And unlike AJ Styles at Hell in a Cell, never tapped out at the same time. Speaking of AJ Styles, that brings me to number four, and that was the dream match that they had at TLC 2017 when it was set to be Demon Finn versus Sister Abigail's version of Bray Wyatt. Thankfully, that did not happen. Or if you think about it, I wonder what Sister Abigail would have looked like. Many say it was Alexa Bliss in the Swamp match, but I'm still curious what Sister Abigail would have looked like as Bray Wyatt's alter ego. But instead, we got the Fiend later on. And here's a quick question for you guys: Demon Finn versus the Fiend, Hell in a Cell. Who's your pick? Let me know. Either way, this match came because we didn't get Sister Abigail as Bray Wyatt. Instead, we got a great match between two Bullet Club members, Finn Balor and AJ Styles, who was already WWE champion. And while it was a non-title match, it was a WrestleMania worthy match that happened at a TLC pay-per-view, with Finn Balor coming out victorious. And both men, because they are club members dating way back to their days in New Japan, They showed sportsmanship, hit off the Too Sweet sign, which is originally done by the NWO, and AJ walked off and left the ring to Finn Balor. Great, excellent match. Darn it. Never thought we would see Finn join the Judgment Day, though. But going on to number two, we have Finn Balor, Demon Finn, versus Kevin Owens at NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2015, the ladder match. This was a rematch from Finn Balor winning the championship from Kevin Owens at in at Beast from the East in Tokyo. That was a great match, and it was a rematch. And this match, the ladder match, did not disappoint. One of the highlights was Finn Balor doing the coup de grace to Kevin Owens from the top of the ladder and then going back up the ladder to get the championship and retain. My next pick, the number one pick on this list at number one, would take place the very next year in Brooklyn, except not at TakeOver, but at SummerSlam 2016, which was also a great event. I might call that one, review that one actually. This was when Finn Balor faced Seth Rollins to determine the new Universal Champion. And it was a great match that Finn Balor would win, becoming the first ever Universal Heavyweight Champion because Dean Ambrose went to SmackDown. And also, unfortunately, due to the running power bomb on the barricade on the outside, Finn Balor would immediately have to forfeit the championship the next night on Raw. But it doesn't take away from the fact that their match between Finn and Seth Rollins was awesome. It wasn't the main event because the disturbing match between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar was. However, this was still great to watch. And that's my pick. What's your pick? What's your favorite Finn Balor match? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today. And I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. See you soon, folks.